Eldest daughter keeps siding with my wife on this. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. I, 50M, found out that my wife, 49F, of 20 plus years was having an affair. I was completely hurt over this and have started divorce proceedings. Obviously this has been hard on our 4 children, but I cannot spend the rest of my life with someone I can't trust. Before we got married, my wife's family had money and demanded I sign a prenup. I had no problem, but since then the family money has been lost due to bad investments and lawsuits. My wife was a psalm for the majority of our marriage. Our youngest child is 19 and because of the prenup she can't get alimony. In short, my wife will be screwed. The only thing we own together was our house, and while it is paid off, my wife won't be able to afford the upkeep or HOA fees, so she will effectively be homeless. I have no intention of giving her any type of support for any reason. Since serving my wife divorce papers, I have refused direct contact as my lawyer has advised, but she's now playing dirty by getting the children involved. We have 2 boys, 23 and 21, and 2 girls, 25 and 19, and my wife has been pleading with them to get me to agree to halt the divorce proceedings in favor of counseling. After I told my children that I had no interest wasting any more of my life with that woman, they have all essentially backed off except for my oldest, Christy. She is very close to her mother and can't imagine life where her parents are not married. Christy tells me that her mother realizes her mistake and will do whatever it takes to make things right. She says that I owed it to the family to work things out. I refused and told her that it wasn't her place to make those kinds of demands. Since then, the only time Christy talks to me is when she's sobbing and asking me not to destroy the family. I understand that this is hard for her and offered to pay for therapy so she can cope, but she said there wouldn't be anything to cope with if I wasn't trying to divorce her mother. Since Christy is being too emotional to act within reason and refuse therapy, I have been resolved to limit contact until after the divorce. However, my other children are saying that Christy's behavior is getting worse. I'd for taking a step away from my daughter for a while. Here are some of the best comments from our community. This reminds me of when someone I dated in my mid-20s decided to cheat on me at my sister's wedding with my oldest friend, then confessed to me later that evening about what she'd done. I broke up with her as soon as I was sober enough to drive her home. My sister, while the family was out at a restaurant for dinner a week or so later, told me it was my fault my ex cheated on me and that I needed to forgive her. I apologized to my parents for having to leave, dropped some money on the table, and left before the entree came out. Immediately went NC with my sister for 6 months before I was in a better place to discuss it calmly. Why did my sister claim it was my fault my ex cheated? Because I wasn't fun to be around. Why wasn't I fun to be around? Because I'd let depression get the best of me for a few months after my aunt and grandfather passed away. At the age of 25, Christy is old enough to know better. She's a pause for helping her mother cover up the affair for 2 years, and even more so for pressuring her father to stay with her mother afterwards. I'm not sure if she'll ever see the light. At this point it seems like Christy and her mother have created a joint narrative that frames Oop as the bad guy, and they seem determined to double down with it. That might never change. People are really good at self-delusion. But man, I feel awful for Oop. Talk about a double whammy. The wife's cheating was bad enough without having to find out that your kid knew and helped cover it up. I hope he can find peace someday. Makes me curious about what kind of lies this asshole of a mom fed Christy about the kind of person Oop is. I am willing to bet that Christy caught her mom in the affair way before Oop found out, but the mom was able to spin it so that the affair was totally fine and telling the dad would break up the family. Since Christy was convinced that the affair wasn't worth breaking up the family from the very get-go, that would explain a lot of her shitty behavior. But as much as I blame the mother for her shitty parenting, this girl is 25. She is a fucking adult who should know right from wrong regardless of what her parents taught her. And the truth is, I have a feeling she is and always has been very aware that what her mother did was wrong. But she is choosing her own feelings and pain of losing this perfect family over what is right. And this is something I do absolutely blame her for. Also, I am like 90% sure she is probably gonna cheat on her future so's because of her mother's example. She has shown that she doesn't see affairs as a big deal. Here is the second story. Banned my wife from attending our son's birthday. At the end of April 2021, I found out my wife of almost 11 years had been having an affair with a man that she works with. She told me she didn't know why she had done it, as she wasn't attracted to him and didn't have feelings for him at all. She just did it for attention. I forgave her almost immediately, as I truly felt she was the love of my life and my soulmate. 2 weeks after I found out about the affair, she admitted to me that she had been falling out of love with me for a few months but didn't know why and didn't think there was anything that could be done to bring her feelings for me back, so she asked for a divorce. Over the next few months I lost 30 pounds due to anxiety and depression and lack of sleep. My wife started dating the man she cheated on me with, rolling eyes face, and promptly informed our 4 young kids about her relationship. I asked her not to talk about her boyfriend in front of our kids yet, since I didn't feel it was appropriate this early into our divorce process, and it was clear that my 10 and 11-year-old children were uncomfortable with the situation. My wife even tried to force our kids to FaceTime with her new boyfriend a month ago, and it made my oldest son so uncomfortable that he hid under his bed sheets. I asked her to not expose the kids to him anymore for at least 4 to 6 months and that she can enjoy her time with him, but to leave the kids out of it. This week was our youngest son's 6th birthday, and I had reluctantly asked if she wanted to get together as a family to celebrate, as it was my custodial night with the kids and I wanted to be nice. We had agreed to meet up and to keep things civil. The night before the party, my wife FaceTimed my kids while she was at her new boyfriend's house, which made me sick to my stomach and made my kids visibly uncomfortable, so after the call I texted her and told her I didn't think it was a good idea to get together for the party anymore because of how anxious I knew I would be around her, and I didn't want to say or do anything in front of our kids that I might regret. She was very upset about this because she wanted to be able to see our son on his birthday, to which I responded by telling her divorce sucks, and if you wanted to see and speak to our kids every day that she shouldn't have cheated, and asked to end the marriage. I also informed her that I do not want her calling our kids on their days with me anymore, as it's my court-appointed time, and since my son's birthday fell on my night, this meant that I didn't want her to call him. I said if our son asked to call her I would let him, but he never did. She tried to get her attorney involved, but he told her there's really nothing legally wrong with my request and not much he could do. Needless to say, she didn't get to talk to him or see him on his birthday because of her actions. Am I the asshole in this situation? Here are some of the best comments from our community. You didn't have to offer her any time with your son on his birthday if it's a day he was in your custody. You did so to be generous. You have asked her previously to be discreet about her new relationship around the kids you share, and she has flouted that over and over. I'm pleased her attorney saw sense that there wasn't anything wrong with what you said/did. You actually seem to be putting your kids' feelings first, whilst she seems keen to move on and pretend everything is okay. Keep doing as you are. Dude, she didn't just cheat on you. She cheated on the family. She cheated your kids out of a healthy relationship with their mother. Honestly, you need to see how important your anger is here, because in situations like this, anger is the soul telling the brain that we deserve better than we are getting. It's us telling ourselves that the shit we are feeling and going through isn't our fault. You sound like an amazing parent, and your kids are lucky to have you. Can I make a suggestion? Please look into getting your kids, especially the older ones, into therapy. Divorce in itself is hard on kids, then factor in a less than amicable one between the parents, and with the added stress of their mother pushing her new relationship on them, they are going to be dealing with a lot. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.